No intro, because I've left every team besides Orbit, and we don't have an intro right now. At least I couldn't find it, and I just didn't bother. But yeah, I have been gone because my dad passed in last summer, and so I just stopped GFX for a while, and then I got engaged, so that was good. But I've been busy, and then I'm slowly getting back into it because I'm slowly getting the urge, but hope this helps. I'm back, and I will show you how to make this into a 3D image. And the main problem is that nobody really knows what it is. So I've been asked this a lot, and I'm not going to gatekeep. So you have this 2D image, and you can see it has just a pixels, and you can't really make anything out of it. I mean, you want to make a 3D in PSD, but you just don't know how to do it. You could duplicate it like I'm doing here, and then try and make it different color and put it behind, and just make a bunch of them to make it 3D. And I've seen a lot of older teams do that way back in the day when I started, but this is easy. So get rid of all that, and what we're going to want to do is make this actually black instead of white, and then take that black background and make it into a white background. And you're going to want to crack Adobe Illustrator, whether you have 2020, 2023, 2022, doesn't really matter, because we're using Blender and Adobe Illustrator. So save that image as a PNG. Hopefully it's a good quality logo and good quality image, because this has just been used down. I just made the old rendered photo into a black and white image, so it's not going to be as good quality. There might be some imperfections, but that's fine. Make a 1000 by 1000 is what I would suggest. That's what I got here. I just made RGB because it's going to be digital, not print. So now that you open that, drag and drop your file. Just like that. Hopefully it's bigger than that. This is just, like I said, reused more. Go up to Object, Image Trace, and make an expand. So go up to that top section, Object, Image Trace, and then make an expand. And then that'll make it a vector image. And that's what we're going to need for Blender. And so with that, it might have some imperfections because, like I said, this is reused and bad quality. If you just have a bad quality logo, it might have that problem too. So fix whatever imperfections you need. There's an invisible gray layer behind it. Don't worry about it. I mean, you're gonna need it, so don't get rid of it. But just try and fix it as best you can. And this is probably the process you're gonna need to use. I would always suggest when you're making a new logo for someone, just make the PSD with it. So this is what you want to do. I'm just being particular here. Let's see if I can fix this. All right. All right, fix that a little. Okay, everything else looks good, I think. Okay, so basically what we're gonna do next is take our little selection tool. If you've never used Adobe Illustrator, it's just take one of those arrows, and we're gonna get rid of the white, make it look a little transparent. So you're gonna click on it a bunch of times until it gets an isolation mode, and you can just experiment with this. Just press Control Z if you need to go back, but get rid of that by just pressing Delete, Backspace, whatever you need, so you have just the black. Easy. Size it up because now it's infinitely scalable. From there, just center the best you can. It will not matter in the long run, but it makes me feel better. So, okay, now you're gonna do nothing else with this Illustrator file. Just save it. Go up to File, Save As, save on your computer, and then as an SVG. Name it whatever you want. Opening Blender. The old way I used to do it is using Cinema 4D, and you'd have to make it into an old Illustrator file. But this is how I do it now because I got locked out of my Cineform. And I don't really know how to get back into it. And I don't care to find out. Blender's easier. Okay, create a new project, get rid of the base block. Okay. Go to File, Import, and then SVG. And then find your document. Just open it right up. Now it's gonna be there, flattened, laying down. My mouse is a bit of an issue right now, so I'm gonna be struggling to move around. But you'll see your object. You move around. If you're not familiar with Blender, push down your mouse scroll wheel to kind of look around a little bit better, and use the hand in the top right to move around. I rotate this. If you hold down Control, that will make it go in little increments, so it'll be easier. I messed it up already, but it doesn't really matter for what we're doing. Once you have it just straight enough, yeah, I think it's best it's gonna get. Once you have it straight enough, we're going to want to size it up a little bit. I'm just pressing S and then scaling it up, holding it, scaling it up. And this is just preference. So now we have it flat, straight. We're going to want to go to the little modifier tab, then go generate and solidify. You can't do it all at once. You have to unfortunately go through each manually, but this is how it's going to be 3D. And with this, you might have some problems, and we might come across that. I don't know. I expect to, but this will just make it into a 3D object. Hopefully, no issue. Okay, that's what I was thinking about. Well, I'll show you how to fix that in two seconds, but just do that with the rest of it. I think I'm going to do 0.1 for all of them. Just you're going to have to mess around with the size. And if you have less parts to your logo, it's going to be a lot easier. But I got a lot of parts to work with logo. Solidify 0.1. Now with this, you're going to have to change them all again when you make the 2D part. But you're going to render these two separately. So. It's this relatively easy fix once you find it. It looks like, oh, I did it wrong, but you really didn't. It's just, however it came out in Illustrator, because it's not a perfect method, but this is the easiest way, and you should probably use it this way. So go into edit mode, try and find out what's the problem. You can see that is the issue. If you move it back, it disappears. So you might have to finagle this a little bit. I'm not gonna mess with it too much. It did disform it but that's not even because of this. That's because I didn't look at it in the Illustrator file and it was like this. So that's all right for now for our purposes. You can just get rid of that by pressing X and then choosing the vertice, and it will not affect it at all. Do the same thing here. Make sure you get off of edit mode and go into object and select the right area. Go back onto edit mode and just push that right back in. And delete it. You just delete it. I don't know why I didn't do that first. So now you have a little 3D looking thing with zero texture on it though. It's just black in a black environment. So you really do not need a big texture on these unless you're, a big GFX and you need to make a nice PSD. But this is just for basic purposes, and the lighting is gonna be terrible when I show you guys, but it's gonna be very basic. Okay, so if you go up into view, up in the top right, there's little tabs, and go up into what I just did was lock view to camera. It makes it so that wherever you look at, when you press the little camera icon, it will make it so you're looking at it and the camera takes it to that. So this is where the camera's actually, this is what you're rendering. Set up how you want. And right now it's in 1920 by 1080. You're gonna wanna go to one of the tabs on the side that I go to. I forget what the name of the tab is in a second, but let me say this real quick.
make it 1000 by 1000. That's just the base size for everything. That's gonna be fine. So we're gonna zoom in a little bit, center as best as possible. Got that problem up there, but can't really fix it. It's just back to the view, and then just click on the same thing we clicked to get onto the view to camera to get off of it, and then that will stop us from looking at it. And this is how people get these angles, different angled logos. This will be really helpful, yeah, when you want to make cooler looking abby than just basic ones. I usually always include a tilted one. Alright, from here you can get out of the camera mode and it won't affect anything. So now we're gonna get the material. Go down to the material section and lighten that up to whatever you want. I mean, I use a gray and then make it metallic. You can make it as metallic as we want as long as you keep the roughness up. Because if you keep the roughness down and then you go into the actual scene viewer, when you get lights in, it's going to be really, really shiny. And it's not exactly what you want. Like, it looks fine here, but see how bright and shiny it is. It's too much. So get back in there and change that material roughness. That's fine for us. We're gonna get rid of that light because we want a different type of light. So we're gonna go Shift A and then add the area light. Sorry. These ones you can like directionalize where it's going, so this is gonna be really helpful when you want it in a certain area. That could look cool. Wait, let me see. Yeah, if I brighten that up, that's right. So typically you want some coming from the bottom and then from the top. I'm gonna go around the sides here, and it should add like a nice little shadow on the inside. I'm just copying and pasting and then rotating with R. Hopefully you've experimented enough in Blender, but by the end of this you'll be able to move around. And then I'll add one more just in the bottom and front here. Rotate around it so I can rotate it. I'm sure there's an easy way to do this, but this is alright. So before we render, we have to go into this formatting area, the renderings, and then go down to film and turn on transparent, and that's gonna make the background transparent. And then just save the render. Go to render image, and then save the render wherever you want. Then we're gonna go back into it and make that all 2D. So go back in the solidify section and make it really thin. I mean, you can make it like 0.005, make it a little tiny bit thick, but usually you want a pretty flat one. And you could say just make the 2D using Photoshop, but this is to make it all the same quality, which is arguably better. So. I'll show you how to set up the PSD as well. So close this out. I'll save it, I guess. So open your Photoshop up. Make a new document that's about 1000 by 1000 because that's what we rendered. your little renders and then just drag them in. You find click around a few times to get them in. Move the 2D above the 3D, obviously, and then you can rename them if you want. I'm just gonna make the background black real quick. I'm gonna add a little bit of a layer style on here just to make it a little stylized. I mean, it does not matter if you do this or not. A lot of people do, a lot of people don't. And it's just however you. Some people do this to save their rendering because sometimes they render too dark, too light. But if you render it right, then the PSD doesn't need to be pretty. It just needs to be a good render. I'll just do a little bit of shadowing on the black on here to make it a little darker. Not that much. Alright. I'm just messing around here. I mean, you don't have to do any of this. I mean, rename them however you want. 2D, 3D. I'd say group them up and just need the background. Group these up. Facing logo, forward logo, however you want to label it. Some lighting in here. It'd be easier just to steal it from a PSD you already have. Maybe move it around a bit, but if you want to just add your own lighting, just add some shallow lighting in here. Some color lookup just to make it, a little different. The fake CC. This isn't how you actually make a CC, but I just don't want to open any packs. Bottle it up. Call it CCs and lights. And, add the name, and that's pretty much it. So if you're making a logo for a team or yourself, making a PSD that goes with it is just so much easier. It makes you look so much better. And this is a way to do it. You can even add a little title screen type thing by making it a little black and dimming it out a little bit. And adding whatever you want to say to it.